It's lovely to see you, and it must have been quite daunting for you, especially since you've shared your personal journey with me through our chat, and you don't really know very much about me beyond the fact that I'm your search angel. So I'll give you a little bit of background. I'm Carolanne, I'm a mum and a grandmother, and I live in the Highlands of Scotland, and I volunteer with DNAngels. To protect your privacy, I've shared the surname of your genetic father before we began. Are you ready for the moment of truth?
Yes.
Welcome back to the Moment of Truth with DNAngels. Today we're revealing the results of Tanya's search for her biological father. Tanya, can you share a bit of your background story and why that led you to DNAngels?
Sure. Sorry, I'm a little overwhelmed right now, so I'll do my best. How much I want to say. I have always known that I don't know who my biological father was. That was something that was always really open between me and my mother. And I just never really thought I would ever find out who he is. And I think it's something that I could resign myself to being okay with from a really, really young age. So I don't think I really, even when I initially signed up for Ancestry.com, which would have been, I think, 10 years ago at this point, I didn't really go into that thinking I would ever figure it out. And then recently I had heard about DNAngels years ago. I think I joined the Facebook group or something like that. And then I was listening to a podcast, Armchair Expert, one of my favorites. And that,
I'm saying, yeah, I've heard of Armchair Expert.
Yeah, anyways, it got brought up again and it just triggered a little something where I'm like, maybe I should look into that again. That's about it. I don't really know what else to say.
That's okay. And don't worry about being emotional, because this is such an emotional chapter in your journey. What's your favorite season?
It's a good question. I think every season has its own purpose and its own kind of vibe. I love September because it's my birthday. It feels like my New Year's Day, my kind of start over, start fresh. So I've always loved September when school's starting. Just feels like a fresh start. Winter, Christmas time. I love Christmas. I love all the holidays, all the celebrations. I will say, I have always felt like a part has been missing in that I haven't known my biological father. And I've always wondered, like, is there another family Christmas out there happening with all of these people that I could be related to, and they just don't even know that I exist? And I don't even know that they exist, but I just feel in my gut that they're there. It's hard to explain.
Christmas has mixed feelings.
What's that?
Christmas has mixed feelings for you then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good and bad. And I think that's true for a lot of people, whether or not you have kind of puzzle pieces in your family story. I don't know why I'm feeling the need to go through every season now, but I live in Vancouver. It's very rainy, so I have mixed feelings about spring. It's just a good time with friends and family and barbecues and outside, and yeah.
What season are you in just now?
In Vancouver. So Vancouver has two personalities. Yeah. It's either beautiful and sunny or it's gray and depressing. So
that's very much like the Highlands
both right now.
Yeah. The reason that I asked the question is for people to leave an emoji in your chat to show their support for you uncovering your genetic truth. So they can choose what they want to leave to support you.
Okay.
Are you ready to go on to the big reveal?
Sure. Do it.
Right. So some of this will involve giving you some information in our Facebook chat that we've been typing in. I don't know if you've got that open just now, or if not, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, got it open.
Okie doke. Now, when we first get a case, we look at your match list on Ancestry, and your highest match was 137 centimorgans. So that's round about a third cousin level. So that was your closest match. I then start to sort your matches into groups and give them a colour, and each of those represent one of your grandparent lines. I then take a look at each colour and see how those matches connect and who is the common ancestors. So I did this for each of your groups. I don't know, you've not seen the colour groups actually. So I did this for each of your groups, and I placed them into a tool called Banyan so that I could visually see what we were working with, just because your top match was quite low. And my personal preference is to use Banyan rather than Watto. I'm able to see lines, so both of your grandparents, I can see the matches that come off them. In our chat, I'll show you the Banyan that I created with the blue dots. So this is one of your grandparent lines. it might be really confusing and boggle your brain. So we could, but I tried to do it
on me.
I tried to do it as simply as I could. Let me know if for you this isn't simplified enough. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to add a picture in our chat. Just kind of it's like a diagram of matches joined to a common couple. A list of people, and you've got a match there, 137 Morgan's Brenda.
The Facebook chat?
Yeah, the Facebook chat, yeah.
You know.
There, yeah. And you can see Brenda, your top match, 137 centimorgans. I've added her in there where she kind of is on the tree. Then I move on to the green group, which is your other grandparent. And you had DNA matches descending from 3 of the children of Gardner and Susan's children. And I've just shared that picture with you as well. Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. I think it's just taking a second for the, there we go. Okay, yeah. I can see the...
Right, so that's your second grandparent line. And you had DNA matches coming off 3 of their children. Then meant that I could check and see who married in the blue group to the green group. You know, is there a marriage between the two? Because if that's the case, that's where you come down, because the blue and the green have to join together and you go below there. Does this make any sense to you?
Yeah. No, it does actually. I'm following. Yeah. I think I'm following.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, here's the bingo moment where we got the marriage that connected your blue and green groups. So okay. Marianne and George, they joined both the groups together. So the next thing I had to do was to check and see what children did Marianne and George have, because you have to descend from one of their children. And they had 2 children. They had, I've just shared it in the group, they had a boy called George and a girl called Joan. So then I look at the partner of George and Joan, and I build out their spouses tree just a little bit back to see if any surnames are in your DNA pieces. So there was no matches to George's wife's family at all. But for Joan, you had 2 really low matches, which in the next picture I'll show you, they're in the red boxes. There we go. So that made me think you descended from Joan, because you had really low matches to Joan in Joan's family. And then I went over to MyHeritage. Thankfully, you uploaded to MyHeritage because they have a bigger database for international. So obviously, your DNA was massively UK based, even though you weren't born in the UK. That's because your grandparents came from the UK over to Canada around about, it would have been after 1950. Can't find an exact date. That's why the majority of your matches were from the UK. So over on MyHeritage, your case then went from not being able to be solved at that point to actually where we are right now, where I can tell you who your biological father is.
That's crazy.
So I'll share a picture just now. Shows you that match that you had on MyHeritage, and she is circled in blue. So that's a huge difference. If you see the 2 in the red boxes being under 50.
MASKELL?
Yes.
I remember that. I have that. Remember that match?
Yeah. She is the one that clinched your case and made it solvable. And that's purely from uploading to MyHeritage. So your biological father's parents, you're
blonde, right? Sorry, I'm freaking out a little bit.
That's okay. We'll slow down.
Okay. I'm interrupting.
No, you're not interrupting. I want to slow down at your pace. So you're asking, is your biological father still alive? Is that what you asked?
That's not what I asked, but obviously I would like to know that.
What was it you had asked?
Oh, I was just asking about the Sophie match. That's all. We can keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Your father's grandparents, Donald and Joan, they had 2 sons, Ian and Neil. I will share another picture with you in our chat to show you how I got there. There we go. Okay. That's the I got there sort of information. So Banyan let me place you hypothetically into a tree that I'd built using your matches to see how possible my hypothesis was that Donald and Joan were your grandparents. I haven't found anything on Ian, unfortunately. However, with Neil, we have found that he had 3 children, and they all have Facebook pictures and profiles. Would you like me to share a picture? Do that in the chat also. I'll send that over just now. Here's a picture of Neil. Let me pull it up. Okay, I've got a yearbook picture first of all. He was obviously very young. This was a way back in I think it was 1974. We'll say it's 1974. So around about the 1970s. It's a yearbook photo. My computer is not playing ball right now. Oh, there we go. I'll share his yearbook picture in our chat. And then I've got one that's slightly older. Don't have sort of a idea on what year it was taken. It was taken from his Facebook page. I will share with you obviously the profile for him. Right, so here comes the yearbook picture of Neil. That's a picture of him a little bit older. Are you okay? You can take a break if you need to. We don't need to carry on straight.
I can see what's going on in the chat. I wouldn't recognize the name because that's been 0 information provided to me about my biological father. Like, I don't have a first name. The only thing I know about him is that he would have been in Alberta in 1984 or 1983, I guess. Yeah. Months prior to me being born. None of the are ringing a bell or anything like that.
And it must be difficult to see photographs and to have names and it to be all put on you in such a fast pace, because your case came to me not that long ago.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Is what you're telling, because I'm still not totally following the science of this, is that one of the brothers, like how this works, it's Ian or Neil, and we don't know which one.
It's Ian or Neil, unless they had another brother that we can't find in records.
Got it.
The only children we found of Joan and George is Ian and Neil. So it's down to the 2 brothers.
I mean, like, obviously when I look at this picture, I'm like, does it look like me?
Yeah, that's
like, regardless of whether he's my biological father or an uncle. It just
or your uncle.
Or my uncle, because it would have to be one or the other. It's like, I see a resemblance, or do I just want to see a resemblance? Like, having some crazy feelings right now.
I've got some pictures of Neil's children. So Neil has 3 children. I found one of them's got an unusual name, so we'll call her A.
Okay.
A son called James and a daughter called Nancy. I found pictures for all of them, and they all have Facebook profiles. Do you want to see their pictures just now?
Yes.
Would you like that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Put them into our chat. Because sometimes it's easier if they're sort of age to sort of
totally. Yeah, makes sense.
See a bit of resemblance. And that picture of one's pretty distant, and the other one is him in his yearbook when he was in school.
I do feel like I see it. But again, I'm like, I want to see it. I don't know. I'm having like dissonance or something.
Absolutely fine. So this is Neil's daughter, A. I'll call her A because she's got an unusual name. And I'll send her through just now.
Crazy.
Just let me know when you're ready for the next one. I don't want to bombard you. So
I am ready for the next one.
We'll take it at you. Okay. We'll do James next. So I grab James. And all of these pictures and the Facebook profiles I've added to your tree. So at your leisure, you can go back and you can have a look on their Facebooks. That's James. So Nancy, are you okay? Do you want me to? We can take a break.
No, this isn't like just emotional, but I'm not. I'm totally fine. I promise. I'll let you know if I'm not.
That's totally understandable. So I'll send the next one, which is his daughter Nancy. And this is a brilliant picture. It makes me laugh every time I look at it, just because of her facial expression. She just looks so fun. So obviously Neil's children will either be your first cousins or your half siblings. Haven't found a marriage date for Neil. Think he married abroad, possibly in Thailand. Getting those records are quite difficult. The only way to be able to tell which of the 2 brothers is your biological father would be to do target testing. Yeah, that involves asking one of Neil's children to test, going directly to Neil and asking if he'd be willing to test. Don't need to make that decision right now. You may just want to stop your journey just now and have a pause and absorb it all.
I want more information, obviously, but I also want to be respectful to the fact that whoever this man is that's my biological father doesn't know that I exist. And that's like a lot. But if I flip the script, and if I had like sibling out there, that it's not like nothing negative about the story behind all of this, is just my mom was engaged. She broke up with her fiance. She went out and had a crazy night, was too brokenhearted to follow up. And it was the 80s where you didn't have cell phones and Facebook and social media. And she just never found the guy. It's kind of tragic, but he doesn't know I exist. He has no idea.
Absolutely.
So
and there's no rush to make the decision on where you go from here. Through it all, you have to think about you, your needs, and what you want, the outcome of it. I know it's really difficult. Some people bad for the other party and don't want to cause upset, and that at the end of the day means that you haven't fulfilled your needs.
Right. I think it's also fear of rejection that's probably feeding into it too, is like a whole bunch of different mixed feelings. I can tell you right now that I will 1000% be trying to contact one of these people to figure this out. There's no way that I can't. It's just a matter of figuring out like the right way to approach it, is like try to not freak people out and scare them off. Also making sure like going to be okay with whatever reaction I get, because you really never know.
Absolutely. And we can help you with wording on what to say. And I'll be in the chat. I'm only a message away. When you get to that point, I'll be there holding your hand virtually and guiding you. We'll coach you through the whole part if you want to make contact and when you decide to do that. Obviously, this is such a lot of information to digest, and it's draining.
It's really exciting.
I'm excited.
I'm really happy right now. I'm crying, but this is all like tears, not sad tears.
Absolutely. But you've now you're so close. You know who your grandparents are. For definite, that is your paternal grandparents. We just need to work out which of the brothers is dad. So you're almost there. You have a name, and that is a lot to digest.
Yeah.
Obviously, the way I've worked your case and things that I found along the way, share that with you in our Facebook chat. But we can do that tomorrow or the next day, because it's a lot of information and it's all quite scientific. We can do that tomorrow or another day, and I can just put it in the chat. You can read over it, come back to me with any questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your journey to discover your biological truth. And remember, I'm just a message away.
I appreciate that, and I really appreciate that you do this in your own free time. It's really special.
You're so welcome. It makes me whole to be able to have the tools to be able to give people the answers that they're seeking. And I'm glad I could do that for you, Tanya.
Thank
you. You take care. I want to give you a big hug.
I know. Here, there. We did it.
Have you got someone at home that can give you a hug?
Yeah.
Go hug that person.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye.